Every great conversation begins between two thoughts.
Can I ask you something without you thinking I'm ungrateful?
Of course.
I have genuinely a good life. I know that. I have people I love, work that means something, enough of everything I need. And yet lately, and I feel terrible even saying this, nothing really lands. Like good things happen and I notice them. But I don't feel them. Not really. Not the way I used to.
Like watching your own life through glass.
Exactly that. Like I'm there, but not quite in it. And I keep thinking, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just feel the things I'm supposed to feel?
Nothing is wrong with you. What you're describing, feeling present but somehow unable to access joy, is one of the most common experiences of modern life. And it has a name. Psychologists and neuroscientists call it anhedonia.
Anhedonia. I've heard that word, but I always thought it was something serious, something clinical.
It can be. In its most severe form, it's associated with depression. But research published in 2025 through MSH Medical School Hamburg found that anhedonia exists on a spectrum. And a significant portion of healthy people, people with no clinical diagnosis at all, experience it in varying degrees. The inability to feel pleasure isn't always about mental illness. Sometimes it's about something happening in the brain's reward system, something that can be understood, and importantly, addressed.
The reward system. Tell me about that.
So the brain has what researchers call a reward circuit, a network of structures, particularly the ventral tegmental area and the striatum, that possess pleasure, motivation, and anticipation. And the primary chemical running this circuit is dopamine, which we've talked about before, but in this context it works slightly differently than most people understand.
How do most people misunderstand it?
They think dopamine is the pleasure chemical, the thing released when you feel good. But that's not quite right. Dopamine is primarily the anticipation chemical, the wanting chemical. It's released in response to the expectation of reward, not necessarily the reward itself, which is why the pursuit of something often feels better than the having of it.
Which connects back to what we talked about with the arrival fallacy. The chase feels better than the arrival.
Same neurological mechanism. And here's where it gets really important for what you're experiencing. The dopamine system has a baseline, a normal operating level. And when it's functioning well, ordinary pleasures feel genuinely pleasurable. A good cup of coffee, sunlight, a conversation that goes somewhere real. These things activate the reward circuit and produce genuine positive feeling.
But something is interfering with that baseline.
In modern life, significantly. Research published in April 2025 in a major neuroscience journal identified what they called digital anhedonia, a condition caused by chronic overstimulation of the dopamine reward system, primarily through smartphones, social media, and algorithmic content. And the findings were genuinely alarming.
What did they find?
Platforms like the ones we use every day, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, are not just entertainment tools. The research describes them as hyper-stimulating digital environments that directly engage the brain's reward and attention networks. Every notification, every scroll, every algorithmically delivered piece of content is a dopamine trigger, precisely engineered to be one.
Engineered. So it's not accidental.
Not even slightly. The design is intentional. The feedback loops, likes, comments, the infinite scroll, are built to keep the dopamine system continuously activated. And what happens when any system is continuously overactivated is that it downregulates. It becomes less sensitive. It requires more stimulation to produce the same response.
So the more we scroll, the more we need to scroll to feel anything.
And simultaneously, the less ordinary life is able to compete. Because your brain has recalibrated its baseline upward. It now expects the level of stimulation it's been receiving from the feed. And a conversation over coffee, or a walk, or a sunset, or a good book simply cannot deliver that level of input. So they stop registering as pleasurable. Not because they aren't, but because the brain's reward threshold has been raised far beyond what real life can reach.
So the feeling of nothing landing, of good things happening but not feeling them, might be, at least partly, because I've been consuming so much stimulation that real life has become quiet in comparison.
For many people, yes. The research calls it reward desensitization. And it's not a character flaw. It's a neurological adaptation to an environment that is genuinely unlike anything the human brain evolved to handle.
That actually makes me feel less broken. Like it's not that I've lost the ability to feel, it's that something has interfered with the mechanism.
Exactly. And mechanisms can be recalibrated. That's the important part. But first, because digital overstimulation isn't the only cause, there are other things that deplete the dopamine system and contribute to that flat feeling.
Like what?
Chronic stress is a significant one. Research from the Medical College of Georgia found that when stress neurons are chronically activated, they directly suppress the brain's pleasure circuits, not temporarily. Over time, chronic stress essentially turns down the volume on joy, which is why people going through prolonged difficult periods often report that same flatness, that same watching through glass feeling.
The stress doesn't just feel bad. It actually reduces your capacity to feel good.
Measurably. And sleep deprivation does something similar. Studies consistently show that even moderate sleep loss significantly reduces activity in the brain's reward centers. One bad week of sleep can meaningfully dull your emotional responsiveness. Imagine what months or years of poor sleep does to the system.
So stress, poor sleep, digital overstimulation, all draining the same system.
All hitting the reward circuit from different angles simultaneously. Which is why so many people in modern life share this experience. It's not weakness. It's not ingratitude. It's a biological system under extraordinary pressure from multiple directions at once.
And the fix. Because I need there to be a fix.
There are real ones. Not quick, not dramatic, but real. And the first, and perhaps most counterintuitive, is what researchers call a dopamine fast. Which doesn't mean eliminating dopamine. That's impossible and undesirable. It means deliberately reducing high stimulation inputs to allow the reward system to recalibrate back toward its natural baseline.
So less scrolling, less constant input, less noise.
Specifically reducing the engineered high dopamine activities, the algorithmic feeds, the constant notifications, the back-to-back content, and replacing that space with low stimulation activities that the brain used to find rewarding but has lost sensitivity to. A walk without headphones, reading a physical book, sitting with a cup of coffee without a screen, conversations without phones on the table.
Things that feel almost boring at first.
At first, yes, because the brain is recalibrating. It's like adjusting your eyes from a very bright room to a naturally lit one. For a moment, everything seems dark, but the eyes adjust, and then you begin to see things you couldn't see before. The reward system works the same way. Lower the stimulation, and gradually, the quiet things begin to register again.
How long does it take?
Research suggests meaningful changes in reward sensitivity can occur within 2 to 4 weeks of significantly reduced high stimulation input. Not complete restoration, but enough of a shift that people begin noticing. Small things feel good again. A meal tastes better. Music reaches them again. They laugh more easily.
2 to 4 weeks to start feeling real things again. That's actually not that long.
For something so significant, no. And the second practice is what psychologists call behavioral activation, which sounds technical, but is actually beautifully simple. It's the deliberate engagement in activities that used to bring pleasure, even before the motivation to do them returns.
Even when you don't feel like it.
Especially when you don't feel like it. Because with Anhedonia, waiting to feel motivated before acting is waiting for a bus that isn't coming. The research shows that action precedes motivation, not the other way around. You do the thing, and the feeling follows. Not immediately, not always fully, but it follows.
So you don't wait to feel better to start doing the things that make you feel better. You do them first and let the feeling catch up.
The brain responds to behavior. When you engage in an activity that was previously pleasurable, even without enthusiasm, the reward circuits begin to activate. Weakly at first, but the signal is there, and repeated activation, over time, begins to restore sensitivity.
Like walking overgrown paths again.
Exactly like that. The path was there, it just needed someone to walk it again.
What else?
Physical movement. Exercise. Which I know sounds like advice everyone gives for everything, but the neuroscience here is specific and significant. Aerobic exercise has been shown to directly increase dopamine receptor sensitivity, not just dopamine release, which means the brain becomes better at responding to the dopamine it already has, more efficient, more responsive.
So exercise doesn't just release dopamine, it makes the whole system work better.
Measurably. Studies show that regular moderate aerobic exercise, even 20 to 30 minutes 3 times a week, produces significant improvements in mood, motivation, and the capacity for pleasure in people experiencing anhedonia. Not as a side effect, as a direct neurological intervention.
Movement as medicine for the reward system.
One of the most well-evidenced medicines we have. And then, the fourth practice, and perhaps the most human one, genuine connection. Not scrolling through someone's life, not consuming content about connection. Actual face-to-face time with people you care about. Conversation that goes somewhere real.
Like this.
Exactly like this. Research consistently shows that genuine human connection activates the reward circuit in ways that digital substitutes simply cannot replicate. The oxytocin released during real presence, real eye contact, real conversation, reaches parts of the reward system that a screen never touches.
Because we evolved for this, not for the feed.
Millions of years of evolution built a brain that lights up for human presence, for shared experience, for being truly seen by someone. That system is ancient and deep and extraordinarily powerful. And it's still there, in all of us, waiting to be activated. Not by more content, by more contact.
I think I've been feeding the wrong system. Giving myself the thing that looks like connection. The feed, the content, the constant input, instead of the thing that actually is connection.
Most people have. Because the engineered version is designed to be easier, more immediately satisfying, always available. Real connection requires showing up, being present, being willing to be seen. That takes something the algorithm never asks of you.
Courage. Again.
Always courage. At the bottom of every real thing, there it is.
If you've been feeling that flatness, that sense of going through the motions, of good things happening but not quite reaching you, you are not broken. You are not ungrateful. You are a human nervous system navigating an environment it was never built for. And there is a way back.
Reduce the noise. Do the things that used to matter, even before you feel like it. Move your body, and find someone to sit with, really sit with, and talk. Not about nothing, about something real. The reward system is not gone. It's just been waiting for something worthy of it.
Give it something real, and watch what happens.
It remembers. It always remembers.
Thank you for being here with us today. This one felt personal.
If this reached something in you, share it with someone who seems a little absent lately. They might need to hear this more than they know.
And our question before you go:
when did you last feel genuinely, fully excited about something? And what was it?
Tell us in the comments. We read every single one, always.
Until next time.
Stay curious, stay kind, and give your brain something real to feel.